All right, what's up? What's up, guys? This is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. Have a few things that I want to get into. A lot of things, actually. I want to talk about a lot. So we're going to get into a lot. We're going to talk about some fun things, news, notes, draft prospects, free agency, off-season outlook for the Philadelphia Eagles, so on and so forth. But first and foremost, I want to start off this stream by saying I had some phenomenal fucking salmon last night. That I made for dinner after I got back from the gym. It was pretty great. So I made about three fish fillets, three salmon fillets, and sprinkled some parsley leaves on there, and then did a few dashes of soy not soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and then also Halal Guys hot sauce. And I gotta tell you, it was absolutely phenomenal. Now, I didn't know how this was gonna taste. I didn't know how this was gonna taste before I did this. And I gotta say that Halal Guys hot sauce is fucking spicy. And we're gonna get into Halal Guys because they're absolutely awesome. I remember when I lived in New York, Halal Guys, they had their food trucks out there. They started in New York. And now they've branched out quite a bit, so they've done a phenomenal job. But yeah, I mean the salmon the salmon that I made last night was absolutely spot on. And man, oh man, oh man. So but yeah, so it was I gotta recommend that combination of sesame seed oil and Halal Guys hot sauce. So if you ever have a chance to to find your way to a Halal Guys, make sure that you go ahead and do that. Everything that they make is pretty phenomenal. I did their chicken platter. And I did their chicken platter about a few days ago. So I still had some extra packets of hot sauce. And I was able to use that last night on the salmon. Fucking great. AJ Styles, welcome to the chat today, my man. AJ Styles says, can Aaron Rodgers go to the Philadelphia Eagles? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a phenomenal question. What I think is crazy about that is that they are betting on it. The Vegas odds, I think, are like 11-2. So there is always the possibility of Aaron Rodgers going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Do I think that they're going to do it? I don't know. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to want, 3 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that it's worth trading the farm for Aaron Rodgers, especially at the age of 37. Do I think Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenal player? Yeah, I think he's a fucking badass. I think he's a fucking badass. I think he could come in, turn this franchise around from a passing standpoint. But that's the thing, if you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, then you have to change your entire offseason outlook. You have to go out and you have to get guys that are going to put your team in a position to win now. And the thing is the Philadelphia Eagles don't necessarily have those guys right now. We don't have those guys right now. In fact, we don't even know the status of the guys that you used to call win now guys. We don't even know if those guys are still going to be on the team anymore. And I'm talking about Fletcher Cox. I'm talking about, Brandon Graham. Brandon Brooks just retired. Now, I'm not too worried about the offensive line, so I'm not too worried about Brandon Brooks retiring. Speaking of Brandon Brooks retiring, that frees up about $13 million in cap space for us. So that's phenomenal. That's great for us. But it's definitely going to change things. And is Aaron Rodgers going to want to come to Philadelphia knowing that we need all of these things? We need all of these things. But the other thing too is, there's two sides to that coin, right? There's two sides to that coin, and the two sides are what I just explained. We might not have enough players that might entice Aaron Rodgers, but we did also just make the playoffs, and Aaron Rodgers could see himself as the missing piece. So there is that. There is definitely that. Um, but yeah, just jumping back to halal guys. If you guys have a chance, if you have halal guys in your area, go check out halal guys. Fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. When I lived in New York, their food carts, it was a must stop. In fact, I got a little too addicted and and gained a couple pounds, but they are absolutely phenomenal. So I gotta put that out there. Guys, there is a report that the Bears could be interested in hiring Philadelphia Eagles assistant passing coordinator Kevin Patullo to be their offensive coordinator, and I want to get into this a little bit because what is the thing that we've been talking about kind of all season long is the consistency for Jalen Hurts, and when it comes to making sure that he has when it comes to making sure that he has consistent faces in the coaching staff room for consecutive years. So the thing is that if Kevin Patullo leaves, it's going to be Jalen Hurts looking at another face again when it comes to the coaching staff, right? And so is the integrity jeopardized a little bit because of that if Kevin Patullo leaves? Yeah, it is jeopardized a little bit because we want to make sure that Jalen Hurts has that can continue to develop within the same offensive system. The same passing coordinator can continue. We don't need him learning new terminology, especially with the fact that we're not even sure that Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy. I understand what Howie Roseman said, and I understand what Howie Roseman said in his joint press conference with Nick Sirianni and and that yeah, Jalen has earned the right to start next season in 2022, but that doesn't mean that he's going to. It doesn't mean that he's going to. And it also could mean this. It could also just mean that he will start maybe for the first 4 weeks of the season, but the Eagles could also still draft the guy. Howie Roseman can turn the narrative on what he said in that joint press conference any which way he wants. I mean, there's still freedom there. There's still ways to turn the tea leaves, if you get my drift. So I mean, yeah, we're gonna have Kevin Patullo leaving. If it's going to be Jalen Hurts again, I don't think it's a good idea. But if Kevin Patullo does leave and does take does accept the offensive coordinator job for the Chicago Bears, then I think that they should seriously consider drafting a quarterback. And I'm not totally opposed to it. In fact, I wouldn't be against it. I think that if Kenny Pickett is there at 19, then take Kenny Pickett. Plain and simple. Take Kenny Pickett there at 19. So, but and we can say we can have as many ifs, ands, or buts as we want about Jalen Hurts. We can look at the stat line all we want. Almost passed for 3,200 yards, almost ran for 800 yards. Had 10 rushing touchdowns or something like that. Threw for 16 touchdowns. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, we all know this is a passing league. It's a passing league. So, are those passing numbers? No, they're not. They're not adequate. Maybe if this were 2003, 2004, those would be passing numbers. I remember Donovan McNabb having passing numbers back in 2004, 2005, and it was 3,400 yards, and you would say, man, that's a good season. It's a pretty good season. But in today's day and age, in today's game, no, it's not. In fact, 39 is above average. 3,900 yards is above average. But that's just looking at the stat line, right? That's just looking at the stat line. But that's the only thing that Jalen Hurts really has going for him right now, that and his legs. But as soon as he got hurt, he stopped running as much, and it took 3/4 of his game away. So we can't have that. they really need to consider going out and grabbing one of these quarterbacks, because truth of the matter is, no matter how hesitant we may want to be about the fact, they still should consider it. They still should consider it. So, um, and we don't know. We don't know how one of these quarterbacks is going to turn out. They could turn out and they could make the transition really, really successful. And it's like me guessing on putting those sauces on my salmon last night and it turning out to be fucking phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So, um, it's it's one of those things. It's one of those things. But I want to move on to Treylon Burks. Let's move on to Treylon Burks for a second here. Draft prospect out of Arkansas. Man, 6'3", 220 pounds. He, in my opinion, after looking at his tape, I see similarities to Mike Williams. Obviously, Mike Williams is going to be a free agent. I even see a little bit of TO in Treylon Burks' game. And Treylon Burks, 6'3", 220 pounds, phenomenal with contested catches, absolutely phenomenal. And then also has enough horses in his get up to be able to get downfield pretty quickly. So he can beat man coverage. Chris, what's up, my man? How's it going, man? How's it going? Happy Thursday, my dude. Happy Thursday. So would Treylon Burks be a good prospect for the Philadelphia Eagles? I think so. I really do. I think he would be a phenomenal prospect for the Philadelphia Eagles. 6'3", 220 pounds. They need a guy that can get those contested catches. And honestly, I think I trust Treylon Burks a little bit more than I would trust Drake London. So if they were going to go that route in the first round, at wide receiver, and take the big bodied guy, I would be more trustworthy of Treylon Burks instead of Drake London, just because for me, I don't know, it's an intuitive thing. Drake London just screams injury to me. It just does. 6'5", 215. It's a little bit lean for my liking, and he moves a little bit too much like Alshon Jeffrey, and I just don't like that. But I do see a little bit of DK in Treylon Burks, and I do see a little bit of Mike Williams in Treylon Burks. So I think that the dude has upside. I think he does have potential. It's just a matter of, does it translate to the NFL is the thing. Chris says, my fear with guys like him is that I don't know if I trust Hurts to get the ball to guys who don't have more separation. No, that's a phenomenal point. I don't trust Hurts whatsoever. I've made my conclusion, and here's the thing: his passing issues have been an issue since he was at Alabama. It's the reason why they benched him in the championship game, and it even continued a little bit over at Oklahoma. And all of a sudden, everybody wants to think that it's going to get better all of a sudden, and it's like, and everybody wants to say, "Well, you got to give it one more. You got to give it one more year. He's only played 20 games." No, it hasn't just been 20 games. It hasn't just been. It hasn't. This issue hasn't just been the duration of the amount of time that he's been with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's gone back about 8 years. So, or 5 or 6 or 7, whatever. It's been an issue. He has not been able to correct it, right? He has not been able to correct it. So I'm on the train where it's like, and Chris, you and I talked about this the other day. If they take Kenny Pickett or if they take Matt Corral, I'm perfectly fine with it, because I know that one of those quarterbacks are going to come in and have better passing mechanics than Jalen Hurts. So Chris says, I feel like guys need to be wide open for Hurts to throw to them. I like Burks, but I prefer another always open guy like Olave and Wilson, or a burner like Jameson. Yeah, agreed. I mean, all three of those guys, or four of those guys, Olave, Wilson, Jameson, and Burks. I wouldn't mind any one of those guys. I do think that they need more speed. I do think that they still need to incorporate some speed, obviously, because and because we don't know what's going to happen with Jalen Reagor. I think that there were reports saying that he wants out and he wants a fresh start. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Fine, you can have a fresh start. Go somewhere else, have a fresh start. But doesn't that sound like demands of somebody who has actually established a name for themselves? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking? Like, fine, leave. We don't want you anyway. You like he and this is the problem. And I think this is the problem with Jalen Reagor is he pays too much attention to social media. Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles fans are talking shit about you all the time, 100% of the time, all the time. And yeah, if you jump on social media, you're gonna see some shit. You're gonna see some fucked up shit that we say about you because you have been shitting the bed. You've been pooping on the outside of the toilet, not inside of the toilet. So like, so yeah, of course. And I think that that's the thing is like he's paying too much attention to, all the shit that's being said about him, and it's probably fucking with his confidence. But like, dude, have a little bit more swagger, have a little bit more confidence about yourself. Go out and play the game. Stop being a prima donna without the talent. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna have to replace that speed. I think Garrett Wilson's obvious. I think Garrett Wilson's gonna be gone, though. I think Chris Olave could still be there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. My thing is this: I do worry, and I did mention this the other day, as I do worry that one of these other teams, like the Patriots, could jump in to the running for one of these wide receivers, that are on the market, not in the draft, but that are on the market, like Mike Williams. I think that would be a good fit for the Patriots and Mac Jones, or Calvin Ridley. I think that would be a good fit for the Patriots and Mac Jones. So I really don't want Howie Roseman to get in a pissing match with Bill Belichick, because I think Bill Belichick wins that at the end of the day, usually, every single time. But we'll have to see. The other thing that I want to talk about too is just some of the mock drafts that have been putting out. One of the most recent ones that I saw had some of these cornerbacks going higher, and I actually liked it. I didn't like it for Eagles fans, purposes, but it made sense, because that's the one thing that we always see, right? Is these cornerbacks, increasing their draft stock prior to the draft. And so it had like Kaiir Elam, going higher, going within the top 15. It had, obviously Derek Stingley, is obviously going to go way before then. But even Sauce Gardner. So it had like three cornerbacks going within the top 15, and so we wouldn't even have a shot at some of these guys. So and that just sounds like a normal draft of the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody's fucking gone before we have the chance to go get him, and then we end up taking somebody like Drake Jackson, and which wouldn't be a bad thing. But we end up taking like Drake Jackson way too early, or somebody like that, or like Brandon Graham like way too early, or somebody like that. And so it has me a little bit worried. You know what I'm saying? But Chris says, I'd be pissed if we miss on Sauce. I would too. Like my opinions on Sauce, what I've seen on Sauce, what I've read on Sauce, what I've watched, the games that I've watched with Sauce Gardner, like I absolutely am dead set on Sauce Gardner. I want Sauce Gardner on this team. Like I just do. Him and him and Devin Lloyd, like both. I want both of those players. I just want both of those players. And I also think that we could benefit from having Nick Bonito. And obviously, I've said that in the previous stream. But like, I really like Nick Bonito in the second round. Jojo Damon obviously is another guy that I like, and I think that that's a third round guy that you could have, and I think that he would be a weapon for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think he played a little bit of slot for I think he played a little bit of slot for Nebraska, but. But yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens for sure. Most definitely. But yeah, I mean the biggest focus, the biggest focus on what we need to do is build a better team. That's obviously the goal. It's obviously the goal. We need to build a better team, and I think it starts with honestly the quarterback position. Our passing offense fucking sucked. You know, they would have never switched to the run. We would have never seen the transition to the run game that we saw if the passing game wasn't as bad as it was. And I can't blame, and I'm not blaming that on Nick Sirianni. I'm not. I don't think it was Nick Sirianni's fault. You know what I mean? So, Chris says, apparently Elam is good, but I've heard Booth is more of a zone corner, meaning he has to fit your scheme. I've seen some saying Hamilton could slide to us. If Hamilton slides to us, it would be very surprising. The only reason, I've seen Hamilton slide also. And I think that the only reason why he would is because safeties tend to go around that time. And I think if Kyle Hamilton is there, obviously Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame, fucking stud. Then they gotta take him. I would prefer Kyle Hamilton over any cornerback that's on the board at that point in time. So, you know, or linebacker, maybe linebacker. I don't know. They have 15 and 16, right? So it's like, you know, you want to take Sauce Gardner and you want to take Kyle Hamilton, go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna hold you back. So, Chris says if he does, it would be crazy because I don't think any of us accounted for him being there at that pick. Yeah, well, that's the thing too. That's a great point, Chris. And but I also think that it could also be a worry because would Howie Roseman account for him sliding to us? And if Howie Roseman doesn't account for him possibly sliding to us in some weird scenario in the multiverse, then he wouldn't be on the draft board. And if he's not on the draft board, if he's not on the Philadelphia Eagles draft board, then do they pick him? Because we've heard time and time again, oh, you got to stay true to the draft board. Right? Howie Roseman has done that and not done that and done that and not done that so many times. It's fucking ridiculous. But like, you know, I think that if he has so many players that are on his draft board that go off before it's his turn to pick, then he starts to get a little antsy. And that's why it's really important. Like, he has to listen to his coaches. He has to listen to his guys. You know what I mean? So, like, they got to put an extensive list together because there's going to be some guys there that he can take. If Kyle Hamilton is there, and they should account for Kyle Hamilton being there at 15 because he is a safety. And safeties do tend to go around that area. Then you should grab him. You should grab him. You know. And by the way, Rodney McLeod and Anthony Harris are both destined to be free agents this offseason. So it's like, why not? Why wouldn't you? Chris says he may slide because safeties aren't a value position, and him being hurt, he may not able to have a pro day. While other guys will have pro days, that will move them up the board. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a great point. They will. Yeah, other guys will. Other guys, everybody's going to have more opportunities to increase their draft stock between now and April, and there's definitely going to be some draft positioning, moving around and jockeying around, and mock drafts being completely different than what they are now, and things of that nature. Like Trayvon Walker it sounds like he's on the rise to move into the first round, and things like that. Georgia defensive lineman, yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, Christian Harris, perfect example, is linebacker Christian Harris. Is currently considered a second rounder. But there are some mock drafts that are starting to put him in the first round. So there's also that. He's also one of those guys. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. I do want to jump back though too, because I thought I brought up an interesting thing is just the amount of shit that Nick Sirianni got blamed for. And I kind of want to continue to talk about this because that when it came to the passing game, because I think that a lot of and one thing in particular was the fact that Jalen Hurts was going to Jalen Reagor in that loss to the Giants, the first matchup against the Giants this season, on the final play. I don't think that was Nick Sirianni. Honestly, I don't think it was Nick Sirianni. So I think it was Jalen Hurts. So that's another thing. That's another point that I want to bring up is I think that was Jalen Hurts. Not making the right reads. I think there's a lot of shit that was covered up. I think there was a lot of shit that was covered up that we saw come to light in that Tampa Bay game in the wild card round. That just unfolded. So I think we're gonna have. I think that's where I'm going. I think that's where I'm going with that. Is over and over again. I think I'm gonna have to go with the fact that we fucking need a new let's stop fucking playing games. We need a new quarterback. We still need a new quarterback. We still need a fucking quarterback. We need a guy that can fucking pass the ball. We need a guy that can pass the ball. You know what I mean? We need a fucking quarterback. Let's stop bullshitting each other, right? The fans need to stop bullshitting each other. Come on. Let's open our eyes. Let's open our lids. The dude can't fucking pass. The dude cannot fucking pass. Right? I think he makes up for his inability with his running, with the fact that he can run. And so that's what's having fans say, no quarterback in the draft class is better than Jalen Hurts right now. That's what that is. But unfortunately, they're wrong. They're wrong. Right? They're wrong because Sam Howell can fucking run the ball. I think he's proven that. Sam Howell can run the ball. He proved that this season. We know Kenny Pickett can run the ball. Desmond Ridder can run the ball. We know Malik Willis can run the ball. In fact, Malik Willis can come in and probably do a little bit more than Jalen Hurts because Malik Willis has a cannon for a fucking arm. And he's faster. So it would basically be, having Malik Willis, for example, perfect fucking example, is the same. We would have the same exact thing as we had with Jalen Hurts, but possibly better. Possibly better because the dude has a fucking cannon. We would still have the running ability. So that puts all those fans that want to defend Jalen Hurts to rest. He's not going to suddenly turn into Donovan McNabb. He's not going to suddenly turn into... I don't care what Barrett Brooks says on Birds 365. He's not going to turn into fucking Donovan McNabb. And he's not better than Donovan McNabb. Chris says, I rarely blame coaches. Players have to execute. Players have to fucking execute. Players have to execute. We need more weapons on defense. We don't have a lot. We have Darius Slay. Although I am happy about TJ Edwards' development. I like TJ Edwards. Brandon Graham is just not a sacks guy. Like, I don't care what people say when it comes to like I don't care how many times people want to say, oh, pressures are just as good as sacks. They're fucking not. Come on. Take off the glasses. Take off the blinders. They are not. Sacks are momentum-changing plays. Sacks are momentum-changing plays. Sacks get you negative yardage. Sacks are momentum-changing plays. Pressures are just, I mean, they're temporary doses of momentum changing. But usually that's a momentum changer on third down. If you can get a pressure on third down. And also, it's not gonna. So yeah, I love Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's great. And I don't want to lose Brandon Graham. But my argument is more so for the people that want to say that, oh, they're just as good. They're not. We need more guys that can rush the passer and actually execute and finish and sack the guy. Chris says, exactly. I agree. We are relying on that run game still and have a more accurate QB settling in. I think we are better off. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't need to be Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't need to be Russell Wilson. It doesn't need to be Deshaun Watson. One of these rookies is going to come in and improve the passing game. And they're going to come and they're also going to make improv plays because they're rookies and they're excited. And they're gonna take off and do things that they like to do because they're rookies and they're still learning. Because that's what rookies do. And sometimes it gets them injured before they want to. Sometimes it turns out really fucking great. And that's what we can hope for. And then also sometimes it can be disastrous and lead to a turnover. And hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we don't get that guy. But that's part of the learning process. Like, everybody wants to talk about, it's like, oh yeah, we have to be patient. Like, this is a rebuilding. This is a learning process. Like, Like, oh yeah, if we draft a quarterback, then we're just going to have to go through this entire thing again. We're still going through this entire thing again because Jalen Hurts is still getting, it's basically another audition year that Jalen Hurts might get. Everybody wants to talk about how we should trade back. We should trade one of these picks back and get another first-round pick for next year, just in case Jalen Hurts doesn't pan out. What do you mean, just in case Jalen Hurts doesn't pan out? So basically you're saying we should give him another audition year? Is that what you're saying? How many auditions is this guy going to get? Like, I went to acting school when I was 20, and then I got a full ride scholarship to go to acting school in New York. And went on plenty of auditions, a lot of auditions, got callbacks, came close to getting a couple roles, came down to me and just a few people out of like 10,000 and something like that. And I can tell you this, you only get one fucking audition. And then there's a callback. And then you do a screen test. And then if you don't pass this fucking screen test, then you don't get it. Jalen Hurts hasn't passed his audition. Jalen Hurts didn't pass his audition. Everybody is still wondering if this dude can fucking do it. Everybody's still wondering if this dude, like, there's no he showed us in the wild card. He showed us in the wild card game exactly what he showed us in the beginning of the year. The dude is incompetent when it comes to the passing game. Chris says, my issue with Hurts is that usually scramblers have a cannon for an arm. Hurts doesn't. I am scared to death when he throws the deep ball. It seems like he always gets baited by the safety. Yeah, just imagine if that ball was a touchdown. Just imagine if he threw that ball a little bit earlier to Devontae Smith in the wild card round. That would have been a touchdown before half. It would have been a touchdown before half. Imagine if he didn't overthrow Quez Watkins, who was wide open on that crosser. wide open on that crosser in the wild card game. That would have been a touchdown. It's 14 points right there, on top of the 15 that they already have. On top of the 15 that they already have. And so like 29-31, okay. It's a lot better than 31-15. You know? And also, I mean, if he can read the field better, the defense was starting to get off the field. The defense was starting to get off the field and make plays for the Philadelphia Eagles in that wild card round. We were starting to get to Tom Brady. I don't know. If he can read the ball better, then we would be moving the ball more efficiently. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a day where he's going to wake up and suddenly it's not Groundhog Day anymore. You know, I feel like, you know, it's just not one of those things. You know, everybody wants to continue to say, oh, that can be work on, that could be work on, that could be work on. Well, okay, he's had 4 to 5 years to work on this. You know what I mean? So it's not just the amount of time that he spent with the Philadelphia Eagles. At least do this, right? At least do this. Bring in a guy to fucking compete with Hurts. Bring in a guy, like a substantial guy, not Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is not it. Bring in a guy that can compete with Hurts. Bring in a rookie. It's not the most attractive thing to say. Hell, even my brother and my fucking best friends like are afraid to bring in a first round quarterback. Because they don't want to keep playing this game of like bringing in a guy when we've already committed to one guy and it's like exactly what we did with Wentz. No, it's a little bit different. Jalen Hurts was drafted to be a backup. Howie Roseman said that. They mentioned that. You know, and we have to remember that. This guy was not in their starting plans. He was not in the plans to be the starter. It's not why they drafted him. They drafted him to be an insurance policy for Carson Wentz. So, and I can say this too. Carson Wentz would have hit Devontae Smith right on time. Carson Wentz would have hit Quez Watkins right on time. Carson Wentz doesn't miss on the deep ball. I mean, he has in the past. Everybody does. But not like that. Not like that. Chris says exactly. That's the other thing. He's no threat for the deep ball, and he seems to be poor at scanning the field. Of course. So, like, we can bring in wide receivers. We can bring in wide receivers all we want. But is it going to change anything? And that's what I'm worried about. Chris. Is like, if the Philadelphia Eagles draft Chris Olave, are we going to see Chris Olave reach his potential? Here's the thing that drives me nuts, right? Is like the same people that are saying don't draft the quarterback are the same people that are saying I'm afraid to draft the wide receiver in the first round. And Chris Olave is not a guy that you should be afraid to draft in the first round. Treylon Burks still is not a guy that you should be afraid to draft in the first round. You know, despite what we talked about. But, you know, or Garrett Wilson. But the thing is this is like, if they can't put up first round production, then there are going to be Eagles fans that say, oh, he is a bust. But it's not going to be their fault. But we don't know if it's going to be their fault. You want to know why? Because Jalen Hurts won't be able to fucking get them the ball. And that's going to be a problem. That's going to be the issue. That's what I think. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? And so, like, I'd rather have a guy like Kenny Pickett. And so this leads me to this, right? And I don't think that this is going to happen, but this leads me to this. And is a totally it could happen because we know how badly Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie want a top-notch passing offense. What if they don't do defense in the first round. In fact, what if they go defense, offense, wide receiver? What if they go defense, offense, offense? And what do I mean by that? Let's say it is Kyle Hamilton. Let's say it is Kyle Hamilton. Or let's say it is Devin Lloyd. Let's say they take Devin Lloyd, they take Kenny Pickett, and then they take Chris Olave. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy scenario, but, it's a scenario. It is one of these scenarios. There have been scenarios in the past that have happened that have come to fruition by the hands and the mind of Howie Roseman that I was not expecting. Like, I mean, for example, perfect example, I think was 2010. Earl Thomas was still on the board. The Philadelphia Eagles traded up. Everybody thought that they were taking Earl Thomas, and boom, bada boom, it was for Brandon Graham. And I was like, what? But Chris says, Hurts makes me think there should be a recorded stat for QBs leaving points on the field. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. What the algorithm would be for that, I couldn't tell you, but Chris says, people keep talking about a trade for Derek Carr. I think with Carr, Smith, and Olave have over 1,000 yards each. Goddard 900, Rager 600 in the slot, Quez 400, J-Jaw 5 yards. I don't think Rager's gonna. I really think Rager 600 yards. I don't. That's the thing too, is I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have to think about Rager for a minute. But based off of everything that I just said, is this. Rager came into the league when the Eagles offense went through 14 to 16 different offensive line changes. Carson Wentz had a horrible season because of it. And then his second season in the league was Jalen Hurts. So that's the thing. Does Rager do better with a better quarterback? Does Rager do better with a better quarterback? That's right. Like we've talked about this. We think that the potential is there. Or it looks like it should be there. The talent looks like it should be there. I don't know. I think Aaron Rodgers would probably be able to make something of Jalen Rager. I think Aaron Rodgers would be able to make something of Jalen Rager. I have no doubt about that. Actually. Chris says, LOL, yeah, JJ would have 5 yards no matter who's the QB. I think Rager could improve in the slot. Not that he deserves that spot over Quez. No, I don't think he does. I think that they could bring Jalen Rager into some packages. That's the thing too. Is I think the other thing to be excited about is, like, this is only year 2 for Quez Watkins, and he'll go into year 3, and he's continued to get better. He hasn't gotten the opportunities that he deserves because of the inefficiencies by Jalen Hurts, and so if he continues to get better, that's going to be exciting too. That's going to be exciting also. So. I just hope that we have a quarterback. I hope that they don't I hope that they don't waste these guys. Quez Watkins can be a good wide receiver. And does get open. He does beat man. He does beat his man coverage. He does. And that's good. That's really good. Devontae Smith got open a lot more than the opportunities that he got. And there were a lot more catches than that he should have had. He should have had over 1,000 yards. He should have had a season like Jamar Chase, or at least close to it, if he had a better quarterback. Like, if Devontae Smith had Joe Burrow, we wouldn't be talking about this. If you gave Jamar Chase Jalen Hurts, and gave us Joe Burrow, we'd be talking about Devontae Smith. We'd be talking about Devontae Smith over Jamar Chase. Chris says, I don't think ever in league history a wide receiver was drafted in the first and fourth round, and the fourth rounder completely outplayed the first. That's a good point to bring up. I'm gonna have to look into that. You mean in the same year, right? I assume you mean in the same year. By the same team. In the same year by the same team. Yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But Jalen Hurts just isn't the guy, and they need to know that. They've got to know that. I really just hope they don't make this fucking mistake. I really just hope they don't make this mistake and think that he's the guy moving forward. Like, Chris says, if Pickett is there, I'm taking him. Does the age concern you at all, though? Does the age with Pickett concern you at all? Because it doesn't really concern me. It concerns me a little bit. But you know, it's not a big deal. I would prefer a younger dude, but you know, I want to know your 2 cents on that. Because he's going to be 24 before he plays his first game. So he's going to be 24 before he plays his first game, or 25 maybe. Chris says 23, not too bad. Oh, okay. Wait, who's the 24-year-old? Isn't there a 24-year-old quarterback right now who's like, I thought that was Kenny Pickett. Or maybe it's Matt Corral. How old is Matt Corral? Oh, Matt Corral's 22. Okay. Chris says we get at least 10 years out of him. He's no Jordan Davis. Yeah. Right. How old is Jordan Davis? No, I'm not looking for the American singer-songwriter. What the fuck? Oh, Jordan Davis is 22. Chris says you're right. Pickett would be 24. Yeah, he would be 24, which isn't. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of like Carson's stat. Like that's the one thing with Carson that I always worried about, which was he was drafted at 23, and then all of a sudden he's like almost 30 now. So, but I turned 31 tomorrow, so like I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm turning 31 tomorrow. Big deal, I guess. It's a big deal. My roommate's taking me out tonight for all you can eat sushi. So I'm pretty excited. About that. Which I wish I could just take it all home, but apparently you can't do that at a buffet. I've been to a buffet before. I haven't been to a buffet in a long, long time. But Chris says there are conflicting reports about Davis's age. I've seen 22 and I've seen 26 also. And for a 340-pound defensive lineman, I can't see him lasting too long in the league. Yeah, no, that's why I prefer if we're gonna go a Georgia defensive lineman in the first round, I prefer Devontae Wyatt. Yeah, I worry. That's the one thing I worry about with Jordan Davis is his size. I mean, it is 6 foot. It is a 340 pound frame, or it is a 340 pounds on a 6'7" frame. But even then, it's like you're not gonna get a lot of pressures there. You're not gonna get a lot of pressures there. But um, so he did have like 7 or 8 sacks or something like that though. He did have like 7 or 8 sacks, I think. Something along those lines. Didn't he? Oh, he only had 2 sacks. What the fuck? He only had 2 sacks? Well, forgive me. Yeah, this isn't a guy. He had 2 sacks in 2021. He had 1 sack in 2020, 2.5 sacks in 2019, and 1.5 sacks in 2018. Chris says, "What city do you live in?" I live in Arizona. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So this is the time of year where it's nice. Where it's nice, as opposed to the summer where it's like 120 degrees and it's insane. It's absolutely insane, fucking hot. Fucking sweat your balls off. It's funny because people still run outside, go jogging in Arizona in the summertime, and it's always funny to think it's like, oh yeah, because they fried their brain. That's why they're running. No, I'm just playing. It's a joke. Fucking joke. Chris says he's more of a run stuffer. Yeah, he's more of a run stuffer. And here's the thing: is I think that honestly, you don't want a guy that specializes in run stopping. You don't, because I feel like the run, stopping the run, that's a technique that can be taught more so than pass rushing. And I feel like we've done a good job by stopping the run. We were horrible at it in the first half of the season, but that's because we were learning a new scheme and whatnot and shabby dabby doo dah. But so I feel like say we draft Devontae Wyatt and he's not so great against the run, which I'm pretty sure that he is. He's fine. I feel like he can be better at that. But that's why that's why I prefer a guy who's better at pass rushing ability. Big SOB just clogs the hell out of the middle. Chris says, "Yikes! It's 30 in Philly. Would love some AZ weather right about now. I'll try to send some your way. But yeah, no 30 in Philly. Shit, fuck, damn, wow. Yeah, I have some family members that still live in Pennsylvania. So I know that they've been telling me that it's been getting cold. So they've been telling me that it's been cold, which is normal. I mean, it is only January 27th. It's still wintertime. So I mean, it makes fucking sense. But the only thing here's jumping back to Jalen Hurts real quick. The one thing that makes this really hard is because I do like the guy. And everybody says that. I like the guy. I like his personality. I like his leadership. But and I think it's a perfect match for the city. And for this team, but unfortunately, his play isn't living up to that. So I worry that if we do get another guy, is he going to be able to emulate? Not necessarily emulate, but is he going to be the right guy? Is he going to is his person? Is there going to be a deficiency? Because Carson Wentz, over time, we realized that his personality just didn't match the city of Philadelphia. It just didn't. Jalen Hurts' personality does. So that's the thing. I think that Russell Wilson's personality would match the city of Philadelphia. I think Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers' personality would. So Chris says exactly. He's such a nice guy. I'm hoping he has some success, which is why I would trade him to Houston, his hometown. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Houston. Interesting. 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 What would it take? What would it take to get up to Houston's pick? Can we talk about that for a second? I know that's a fucking crazy scenario, but what would it, and I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman, honestly. But honestly, what would it take? What would it take to get up to Houston's pick? Would it take Jalen Hurts in a first round pick, and maybe a fourth or a third? Yeah, exactly, exactly. Forget Watson. Like, let's take Watson out of the fucking equation. It would, like, let's say that we just want to move up into the first round, and it's not about Watson at all. We just want to, and it's more so about Houston needing a new quarterback, and us wanting to go a different direction. Chris says not necessarily for Watson, but to move up in the draft or a future for a future. Yeah, exactly. Chris says I hear they are willing to part with their pick. I do too. I heard that also. I forgot where I read that. I think it was on Bleacher Report, but I forgot where the article came out. There's so many fucking articles. I should probably keep track of them. Yeah, no, I think that they are willing to part with their pick, but that would be interesting because it would be back to his hometown, and maybe that would be enticing, for Jalen. I don't know. Chris says that's exactly what I was thinking. Hurts in a first for their first. Only problem is who would be our quarterback? That seems kind of high to take Pickett. Well, here's the thing: is what first round pick are we giving up? What first round? Because we could literally make that trade, and we could take, I don't know, Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and then at 16, if Kenny Pickett is still there, take Kenny Pickett, or if it's Matt Corral. But here's the thing, though, is there's a strong possibility that Washington could go Kenny Pickett at pick 11. So that's what I would worry about. I would worry about these other teams. I would also worry about the Giants taking a quarterback at 5, because that's also been a mock that's been going on. But the Giants don't need to take a quarterback at 5 when they also have, what is it, 7? I think it's 5 and 7. They have picks 5 and 7. Is that right? So I mean, like, I that's the thing, is, like, if the Eagles do get the Texans pick at 3, then they might need to take the quarterback there. They might need to take the quarterback there. Yeah, the Giants pick at 5 and 7. Chris says exactly. I don't think Pickett would last that long. Yeah, right. And the thing is, does Kenny Pickett become? Does Kenny? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I also dig Matt Corral. I'm also kind of a fan of Sam Howell. I kind of like all three quarterbacks. I think I like Kenny Pickett the most because I see a little bit of Josh Allen and Kenny Pickett. Does he vault his draft stock so far up into? Does he vault his draft stock up into the top 5 between now and April? There's so many opportunities. There's a Senior Bowl. There's a combine, pro days. You know, um, there's tons of shit. So quarterback is still going to be a hot. Quarterback is still going to be a hot commodity. Quarterback is always a hot commodity. It's always a hot commodity. I think that I think Denver is still going to try and make a play for Aaron Rodgers. I do believe that. I think they're going to try and make a play for Aaron Rodgers, and that could mean that that Green Bay gets pick number 9. So Chris says, but if we get Pickett, I am selling out on offense, taking Olave and signing a vet wide receiver, and even taking a running back in the 4th round. If we take so yeah, let's forget the Houston trade all of us for 1 second. So if we let's do that. So if we get Pickett, if we get Kenny Pickett, and say it's at pick 15, I think that I would still make a trade for Calvin. Yeah, I would make a trade for. I think I would still make a trade for Calvin Ridley. I would still go ahead and make a play for Mike Williams. That's kind of where I want to go. I would say that they should try and make a play for Calvin Ridley and sign Mike Williams. Honestly, why not? Right? Why not? Chris says that's what Dallas did for Dak. It's exactly what Dallas did for Dak. That's damn straight. Damn straight. So like I would I would trade for Calvin, and I would sign Mike Williams. And here's the thing: if Calvin Ridley doesn't want to come to Philadelphia because the cities are different, but it's just something, obviously there was something about Atlanta that he wasn't digging anymore, and so like it depends on what about the city he wasn't digging. And so is he going to want to actually come to Philadelphia is the thing. But that doesn't take it away. That doesn't take the idea of drafting like a Chris Olave away, So you could draft Kenny Pickett and you could draft Chris Olave. I personally, I don't know if I would wait until the 4th round to draft the running back if that's the case. I would trade back with pick 19, and yeah, I mean, I would probably go heavy offense too. But I would make sure that I had some picks later to continue to address the defense. So I think Howie Roseman liked Kenny Pickett. I mean, there's a reason why he went to that game. Pitt versus UNC, to watch Kenny Pickett. So, and I don't know if you remember this, Chris, but like there were reports earlier around that time where Jeffrey Lurie was excited about Jalen Hurts, and this continued. Jeffrey Lurie was excited about Jalen Hurts, but Howie Roseman was still undecided. So, Jeffrey Lurie has given Howie Roseman responsibility to do what's best for the team. So Howie Roseman does still, will still be able to make the decisions. Jeffrey Lurie does sign off on the picks at the end of the day, but what do we know? Howie Roseman has a way of convincing Jeffrey Lurie to do things. And I don't know how he does it, but he tends to do it. But But all right, Chris, we're approaching that hour and 5 minute mark. So it was great having you on today, man. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles, the DB Talking Now podcast. I will be back on tomorrow, but here, let me get this one last thing out of the way for you. Chris says, yes, exactly. I don't want to lose sight of our defensive needs. I still want Lloyd or Dean and hoping we get a good edge in the second. Nick Bonito. Hopefully, like I think a lot of these pass rushers are gonna go early, but there's gonna be some guys. I think we need more weapons. So I think Nick Bonito would be good because he can bring pressure on the edge and also play linebacker. But we'll continue to talk about that as the days go on. But hey, man, it was great having you join in, and you have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. One love. Go Birds. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles, the DB Talking Now podcast. One love, man. Stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds, baby.